Hi, this is Deborah from dinglefoot.com, and earlier this week I had asked for some suggestions on projects that you would like me to make, and Brenda suggested that I make some guy cards, and I know that's really hard for me too because I like the little girly things, flowers and swirls and lace and ribbons and all that, and guys don't like that so much. So this card's going to have a coffee cup on it. This is just a little Inkadinka-Doo stamp that I picked up at the craft store in a little discount bin. So I'll use that, and I've also found that it helps a lot for guys' cards if you use some earth tones. So my card's going to be brown and beige, and then just for a little splash of color I have a little kind of striped sheet of paper too. So let's get started and see what we come up with. For the front of the card, I cut a piece of beige paper just a little bit smaller than the front of the card, and I'm going to glue that on. You guys are going to laugh at me because my little adhesive runner is out of adhesive, and I cannot figure out how to change the adhesive on it. It's probably really easy, but I threw away the package, and now I don't know how to fill it, so I didn't want to take the time to work with that. So just use my liquid glue. This gets glued right on the front. And then I have this decorative striped paper, and I'm going to mat it on a dark brown, the same color as the card. So all I need to do is glue that on here. That's the thing about the liquid glue, you gotta wait till it comes down to the tip there. So put that right on the front. And this is the same length as the beige paper, and just a little nice brown edge on each side, so you kind of mat it on there, and that also goes on the front of the card straight across, and it's a little towards the bottom here like that. And then I cut these two squares. This one is 3 inches by 3 inches, the dark brown, and then the beige one is 2.5 by 2.5 inches. So before I go ahead and glue anything, I'm going to take my little coffee cup stamp here, and hopefully I can stamp straight. Kind of hard sometimes with the stamps on the wooden block. You can't see exactly where you're stamping, so I'll ink that up really good. I'm using fired brick. Let's see if I can get this straight. Okay, I'll push really good. Alright, and then I'm going to use some embossing powder, and this is the brushed corduroy from Ranger. It's a distress powder, so it's not shiny. And I stamped in red, so if when I brush it, if some of the color comes off, it'll have that nice little red look to it. Kind of tap that off, and then I'm going to go ahead and heat that with my embossing tool, and I'll be right back. My little coffee cup's all embossed now with the distress embossing powder. And next, I cut out a tag with a punch. I just had a hand-held punch. And I cut out this little tag, and then I took a large metal photo turn mount and a little mini square brad and stuck it right through and just attached it to the top of my tag. And then I wrote on it, "You're my cup of joe," on there. And I kind of decided when I was looking at this card that the tag's going to really blend in there. So I think what I'm going to do is take my brushed corduroy ink pad, and I'll just get my little ink tool here. I'm just going to add just a little bit around the edges there so it doesn't blend into the background of my tag. So all you do is put this ink tool, just dip it in your, press it down in your ink pad, get some ink on it. You can see that, and then you start off your paper. Just use your craft mat and just go around like that in small circles. So now you can see that it will kind of stand out on my card, and I think maybe I'll do that with the little coffee cup thing too, just to make it stand out a little. Just gently go around the edges just a little bit. And so all I really need to do now is get this glued on the brown paper. Put that on there and glue that to the front of the card. So that'll go right about there. And then for my little tag, I'll just grab a little dot here just so it stands up a little bit. Get that out there. And I'm just going to put that right there on the side. And that's it. A little card for your guy.